So, as you've been going through this project, what have you learned through the process? Like, what did you sort of expect to be the case that didn't really play out in this game? I know obviously it's not the first one, so you definitely had a lot of learning experience from that one already. But what new came from this that you weren't? Maybe I don't know, just whatever direction you want to take it.
I mean, for me personally, I learnt a lot more optimization stuff.
Mhm.
Like, from our last project,
Mm.
we just had big scenes
Mhm.
and just put a lot of stuff in it.
Mm.
So there was obviously like rendering costs for that, obviously. And at some point, there really was, it is evident that like there is too much here.
Mhm.
But in this one, I designed, well, me and Matt designed the ship to be sectioned off into tiny little scenes
Mhm.
that we could like asynchronously load
Right.
and have less in them or as much in them as we needed
Mhm.
to make it run well. I had like all the geometry that Matt gave me, apart from like the major rooms. They're all just separate pieces that I just had free reign over to just put in there, and then we rolled with that, and then we started testing the game and went, "Ooh, you know what? That's actually very expensive.
Mhm.
We can't do that." Um, so I then bought a mesh combiner tool,
Mhm.
which basically got implemented the same way occlusion culling works, if you know what that is.
Mhm.
I assume you do.
If you want to just briefly explain it for the viewers, that probably would help.
Occlusion culling is basically, it takes a cone and everything in that cone will be rendered. So if you're like panning across these items over here, will literally get like turned off,
Mhm.
unrendered. So it's basically reducing the cost of what is on screen and helping the frame rates. For the basic principle of that. So the way I planned how I would combine the meshes was based upon occlusion culling
Mhm.
and how much I wanted to render in one go.
Mm.
Even today, there are still issues because Unity is known for not having the best occlusion culling tools. So one of the issues currently that we're having is that in one of the hallways, you can be staring directly like at a wall,
Mhm.
but the bottom section of like the elevator where you go
Mhm.
later on in the game, it's just kind of all rendered for no reason.
I see.
So that's where there's like a performance drop because it's rendering too much.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that is like still one of the like things on our list to try and figure out how to fix.
Mhm. Mhm. What about you, Matt?
Nothing. I'm perfect. No. No. The big one I think was trying to learn how to set up like modular kits
Mhm.
to be used for environment design and stuff. Because yeah, in the first game, I kind of just took the gray box of the whole level and just modeled over it and optimized it from what it was, which was like a million cubes in like one little spot to make up a complex shape. To then, hey, that's now just a cylinder
Mhm.
or stuff like that, where it's like it's proper like mesh and properly optimized, UV'd, etc., textured, all that sort of stuff. But like going through the modular process of design and stuff obviously gives you way more freedom in terms of, hey, this can't be this size anymore, or like it feels wrong sort of walking through it now, or doing this thing over here. Actually, we want to change the way that this is laid out. Having it be modular, it's like, okay, well, now you've got corner pieces and long bits of wall and shorter bits of wall and stuff like that. You can just, chop and change however you want on the fly, which I think we ended
That's
up
how,
doing.
yeah, that's how we added in our new content.
Yeah.
With the med bay, the captain's quarters, and the crew quarters,
Mhm.
where Matt had planned where they wanted to go, but it was like being covered by a whole bunch of like hallway geometry.
Mm.
So it's very easy to just delete that current geometry that's there and then just turn on the old stuff and then just shift it around, or like, oh, I need this much more wall, and then you can just drop it in. So
plus it also made the walls and stuff look way more interesting once you've got like the option of like, okay, currently this is all just a flat wall with like maybe some like stripes and stuff on there, but fuck it, I'll chuck in one of the like little like more computery sort of techie panels and see how that looks, and that's better, but I don't know. Okay, maybe one with the vent on it, and like the simplicity of just being able to like the freedom of choice, super useful, which is one of the biggest things where it was like in Nightlight, because I like modeled everything in terms of like the environment stuff. It was way more rigid and way more difficult to go back and fix stuff because of that. And I was like exporting like whole levels that were like fully modeled out.
Yeah, we would have to have review sessions.
Yeah.
So like he would make it, we would bring it into Unity, we would start putting all the materials on it, one by one, and make sure like they're correct, and not screwed up in any way, or like, over there's just this massive like hole in the floor over there that you like forgot to fix.
Yeah. Which
therefore you'd
have
to redo it again.
And on my end, that hole could have been like a millimeter between things, and the anti-aliasing, made it invisible. But the second you bring it into Unity and you've got like a bright blue skybox behind it, you can see this massive blue strip, and you're like, that's a problem. And then I'm sitting there on version 17 of the apartment buildings, and Alex is sitting there like rocking himself to sleep because he's had to bring everything in over and over and reapply the materials. That was a whole afternoon where it's just like, hey, there's another little hole up there, and it's like, god damn it, I thought I fixed that one. And it's like, no, you fixed the one next to it, but because you shifted that over, now there's another one over here, and it's like, oh, of course there is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
never-ending circle.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the big thing of like, okay, we shot ourselves in the foot over here doing it this way. Let's learn the new way, which is more modular, but then we can keep more bespoke stuff for like the bigger rooms and whatnot. But like overall, it saved us a shitload of time in the grand scheme of things. But like the first pack that I made, oh boy, I think I spent 6 weeks, which is longer than I spent on some of the bigger rooms, like in terms of modeling stuff, just trying to make this thing work, because it was the first time I'd ever done it.
Right.
Or at least done it in a way that was like planned ahead of time, where it wasn't like, okay, there's a hole in that wall over there, or like, here's just a frontage of an apartment that you can chuck elsewhere. It was more like, this is foundational, like, this is a 75 centimeter wall, this is a 150 centimeter wall. And like, we had these segments set out ahead of time, where it's like, okay, I have to make this work, I have to work out what the hell I'm doing. Which was, a big task up front, but saved so much time later on. And once I did it once, I could use those same bits as like foundation of like, okay, well, I've done it once now, I know what I'm doing for this next pack and this next pack and this next pack. And I think we ended up with 3 or 4 in the final game, which like each time I did it got quicker and quicker. But it was like, that first month and a bit where I was like, I'm so over this. Like, why? I could have just modeled this whole way in like 20 minutes, but here I am 6 weeks later. But yeah, it's I can't even think of a good analogy. It was a pain in the ass. Right. It was a pain in the ass that comes back to like, say I'm sorry afterwards, and you forgive it.
But in the long run, it's probably for the best, so that you actually can use these components again, and especially for larger projects, right? Like if you take on something that is going to be larger than this, you're going to take on something where you are going to want to reuse these models, these tile sets, whatever. Like well, that is hopefully something which as you go into whatever the future title is, you can, start getting the ball rolling quite a bit faster, knowing better development processes, knowing a better way to handle just doing all of this. Hopefully that can allow for more to be done with whatever you do next.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, every single thing that we do is a learning step. So like, and that's, I think, one of the bigger reasons why we picked sort of sci-fi and stuff this time as well, was like, okay, we've done the realistic thing, we've done the old school tech, let's jump into a challenge and make a spaceship. Which, yeah, that first 6 weeks made me go, why the hell did we do this? But beyond that was like, okay, yeah, no, this is pretty cool. Then yeah, like 100%. Like if you're not learning something new with everything that you're doing, you're losing an opportunity to like grow as a creative, as an artist, as a designer, as a programmer, etc. Like even like probably in the realm of like podcasting and YouTube and stuff like that as well. Like you're always looking to improve what you're doing. So to take advantage of that with everything that you make, it's a no-brainer.
Well, what do you got an idea for the next thing? Once this project is done, once it's released, do you have any ideas? I'm sure you've got things you would like to do, but are you kind of set on anything that you want to do next?
Yes and no.
Yeah. Yeah. We had an idea that we were pretty firm on, which we sort of concepted and did some very, very, very early stuff on during our first grant submission process, like in April last year. Just while we had some downtime to like take a few steps back from this and like wait to hear back on how we were going. But in the time since, obviously with all like more stuff that we've learned with this and different issues and stuff outside of that, it's like, is the smartest option? Should we innovate a little bit to make it a little bit different? How can we make it a bit more unique? All this sort of stuff where it's like, we have a base idea. Should we talk about it a little bit? It's up to you. That smile says a bit. What do you reckon?
I mean, that's for off cam.
Off cam? Yeah, okay.
That's for off cam. I'm not gonna leak anything here.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. We've got a list of a few ideas and stuff that we have genuinely got just a folder of like project ideas, and we've got this little form that we fill out in terms of like, not like an application or anything, but just like, here's like a list of criteria in terms of stuff that we would want the project to be, who it would be targeted at, what we want the players to feel, some like gameplay stuff, all that sort of stuff. And we've got a bunch of those of just like random ideas and stuff that we've come up with over the last few years. But yeah, this other one, we kind of went in deep and just like spent a good few weeks like busting out a GDD and like a proper art bible and stuff for, but like obviously since kind of had this realization of, well, if we decide to head down this route, is it smarter to do something slightly different and stuff like that? But yeah, it's yet to be seen. On Monday, we're going to have like a proper brainstorming session and like go through some stuff in terms of how can we improve on the idea and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe next time you get back to us, you'll hear some more about it with whatever it ends up being.